Normally, this time of year, I would be posting about my garden. But yesterday, the heat index was 109 degrees, which makes gardening pretty difficult. So I thought I would explain how I got into solar, using power stations and extending the runtime of my power stations. I live in hurricane country, so having backup power was how I got introduced to using power stations, and then solar. I got my power station and thought I was more than ready for outages. And then the hurricane arrived, and we were without power for 4 days. My power station lasted the first day, and then there was this sinking feeling. Luckily, I was able to drive across town to a friend's house to recharge the power station. But I realized I needed backup for my backup. I bought some solar panels to beat the tariffs and then forgot about them for 7 months until I got a really high electric bill and realized it was time to create a setup that would allow me to offset some of my costs. So let me walk you through what I learned to extend the runtime of my power stations. Once you know the voltage limits of your power station using the panels, that is covered in my video, My Simple Solar Setup, Questions Answered, that is linked in the description. All I needed was an XT60i connector from the solar panels to my power station to charge them daily. But what happens if you can't get enough sunlight? This is where batteries come in as backup. Batteries allow you to store extra energy for your power station in the event you're not able to charge it directly from the solar panels. I prefer lithium iron phosphate or LiPo batteries because they're more stable than lithium ion, don't potentially give off fumes like lead acid batteries, and can support between 2,000 and 7,000 charge-recharge cycles, which is a pretty long time. So, a power station begins to run out of power. I simply hook up an XT60i adapter for batteries that I've also linked in the description. And then plug it into the power station. Power station will begin to draw power from the battery, and the display will show me the level of recharge. This allows me to keep using the items in my designated use areas, and the power is now extended. Keep in mind that you can mix and match most of the components in a setup, but not with batteries. Different batteries are configured differently, and a 2-battery setup requires you to use the same brand type battery. So, give some thought to the brand and type of battery you plan to use for your setup. Battery storage allows you to continue to use your power station when it's raining, when there's no sun, or the power is off. None of that matters because you have power stored in both the power station and your batteries. But how do you charge the batteries? If you're using a LiPo battery, you must use a LiPo charger. I was lucky enough to find this marine LiPo charger that allows me to charge 2 batteries at once. While I really like this charger, it does have its limitations. It will charge the batteries, but will not tell you the level of charge, but simply shut off charging when the batteries are fully charged. It will charge the different types of batteries like lead acid, lithium ion, and lithium ion phosphate. But you have to select your type and it will begin to charge it. They've since added another port so you can now charge 3 batteries at once. But the price has also increased. The second consideration is that the back is vented because the charger will generate a lot of heat, so it cannot be leaned against anything that is flammable. I created a caddy that allows me to easily carry it and also lean it for airflow without having it against anything that could catch fire. Making the caddy was pretty simple. You simply create a rectangular frame that is 18 inches long and 14 inches wide. I used 2x2 wood left over from making my solar panel frame. Screw the sides together. Then position the charger onto the frame, making sure not to have the vents at the bottom touch the frame. Then create a U-shaped stand that is screwed into the frame using large screws that will allow the stand to move back and forth. With this stand, I can easily grab it and go to charge both my batteries at the same time. A word about pass-through charging. A lot of electronics will allow you to do what's called pass-through charging, which is charging the power station while you're still using it. Let's say your power station is down to the 20% level. It's nighttime, so no sunlight, and you need extra power. You can connect a battery to recharge while also using the power station. However, recharging while using the power station should only be done as a last resort because you're asking the power station to do 2 things at one time, which can wear down the system and potentially reduce its useful life faster. Each EcoFlow recommends doing what they call smart pass-through charging, where you connect a small draw item like your phone to the power station and then charge the power station from the battery. In this way, you're only asking the power station to do one thing: charge. It will first charge the phone, and once the phone is charged, recharging will then focus on the power station alone until it is completely charged. Now, don't get me wrong, because I've used pass-through charging while running things too. The trick is not to charge an almost depleted power station to run a high charge item at the same time. Your battery management system will be going crazy trying to charge the high charge item while also charging the power station itself. A good example of this is using a battery to charge your power station while also using a coffee maker, which is a very high electric use item. The result is heat that can damage the power station and is also a safety risk. In this example, charge the power station first and then decide which high charge items you want to use with the power you have. Once I discovered these ways to extend the power of my power station, daily electric usage and hurricane season became a lot less stressful. See you next time.